It's the game of the MTGO.
Ooh, some good cards here. I'm gonna grab Tamiyo. I've been really impressed with Tamiyo. Card's fucked up. Less than 2 per day. Not by much. If I trophy with this next draft, then that'll be 8 days in a row. 8 streams in a row of at least 2 trophies a day. LSV is starting to warm up to Tamiyo. Really? Had he just not played with it much? It did not take me long to realize I was very wrong about that card. I was very skeptical. Because, you know, 1-mana planeswalkers and stuff. I was pretty skeptical. And then, like, 2 games in, I'm like, nope, this card's great. Just very clearly good. This is interesting. I don't hate Thopter Foundry. If we end up being an Academy deck, then Thopter Combo and Tamiyo are going to play really well with it. You could also just take Reprieve here and try and be controlling. Or Hollowed Fountain, right? I think trying to be controlling is going to give you more consistent results, but I got a soft spot for Academy. And even if we don't end up artifacts, Thopter Combo can still be good. It's still be good in your control deck. So Broadside Bombardiers is much better than any of these other cards, to the point where I'm considering shifting a bit and just grabbing that thing. Force Negation is solid, though. We do have 2 blue spells immediately. The thing is, though, like, if we do go, like, actual factual artifacts, it's kind of hard to have enough blue cards for Force Negation. You can get there, and like, sometimes it's a cancel, and that's fine. Yeah, Broadside's too good. I'm going to take Broadside. If we'd taken that white reband earlier, it'd be on No More Lies here. As is, I'm considering Treachery. I don't really like these red cards very much. Odoara would be okay. Xander's Lounge. Get some red mana in the mix. What if we're Rug Colors? Could go Grixis and hold on to the Thopter Foundry. Take like Sewers or Blackleaf here. Wow, I am not into this pack at all. Jace is better than it looks. We could just grab Jace. Kind of like Colonnade. Colonnade kind of making me wish that we'd gone just straight blue-white. Love me a Colonnade. I don't think I'm Batterskulling. Or Legion Extrudering. I guess Extruder spitting out 3/3s isn't like the worst with Tamiyo. I don't love it though. It's kind of a clunky ass card. Real good chance I don't play that Batterskull. Hey, there's a card. There's a real card. Reprieve still going around. Probably in the wrong colors. Should probably just be blue-white control, but we do have some nice duels for this Grixis shell. I think I'm going to keep leaning into it. Bombardiers is really good, too. Card is definitely good enough to be worth shifting it up a little bit. One cool thing about Coveted Jewel here is we could have 2 different ways to sacrifice it, to the Bombardiers and to the Thopter Foundry. Could end up working out. Haven't loved Preacher. Some good cards here. I think I'm feeling this Grim Monolith. I think I want some of that big mana. But Spire Bluff and Gut, both totally reasonable. I've certainly used Kitten and Jewel, yeah. Are we Twistin'? I don't like Twister now, but we could like Twister later. That Troll is interesting too, huh? Basically a fetch for our Badlands and Xander's Lounge. Yeah, the Twister becomes interesting if we get Orcs, Shieldred, Narset, or Hullbreacher, which is a lot of different cards. Maybe even something like a Time Walk. Yeah, let's grab it. Fabled Passage is interesting. There's Frantic Search, Urborg, Rampaging Raptor. Ooh, don't hate Toxic Deluge. Don't hate a sweeper up in this. Is Jace any good at all? Or is it just the most dog shitty card that ever dog shitted? I think I dig the sweeper. It's like my only sweeper in Grixis. We're kind of controlling right now. Interesting. Thinking about the Dark Ritual, thinking about the Oliphant. The Fairy Mastermind's not crazy. Fiery Confluence is in the cube. A little Watery Grave action, don't hate that. The only other card here that's a little tempting is the Pyrokinesis. I think I dig this Manifold Key, huh? We have Grim Monolith and Coveted Jewel. And sometimes the unblockability matters. Getting an interesting assortment of things here. Yeah, the Blood Crypts might be tempting. I think I'm gonna grab this Relic of Sauron. Just to have one more card for the Manifold Key. Also makes our mana base better, huh? Yeah, from this spot, we could just be a Grixis control deck, but we could also be a Workshops deck if we saw it in Pack 3. Not out of the question here. Academy and Shops still on the table. Yeah, getting the Workshops and the One Ring, and then being able to sacrifice the One Ring to Broadside. That'd be kind of hot. Or Thopter Foundry. Ray Goody Film. Like, Dam is just going to be a removal spell a lot of the time, but it's like a fine removal spell. And then every once in a while, we can go Jewel into it. It might not look like much, but I'm proud of this little pile. This pile of trash. I can't imagine too many people would have a similar pile. After this draft start. One on-color fetch. Yeah, the Oliphant helps with that, but I wouldn't mind more. Get a Polluted Delta or something in here. Bowmaster or Shieldred Pack 3 would do a lot of heavy lifting, that's for sure. Mana's looking reasonable. Got a few nice synergies. Could still be a good Academy deck. We're like not far away from that. Outside chance we play that Voidwalker. Off-color Mox, and nothing else. All right, Mox it is. Well, there's that on-color fetch we were talking about. Yeah, wouldn't hate the Volk, but I think the fetch is better. You can get the Badlands or the Watery Grave. Could I just be Rakdos? Nah. Our mana's great. There's no reason to limit ourselves. I'm gonna grab this Mana Vault. Just like one more thing for the Manifold Key to do. Wow, Shieldred and Workshop in the same pack. I think the Shieldred is slightly more important. Outside chance the Workshop wheels if nobody else is doing that. The fact that we didn't see Academy and like the other artifact stuff in the earlier packs though make me think that it's not wheeling. We kind of have to make our choice right here. Shops is good with these cards. But we don't have the critical massive stuff for it, right? Yeah, we're going to take the Demonic Tutor here. I don't hate the Talismans, but they're not, like, amazing. And the Demonic Tutor is going to help me combine Shieldred and Time Twister a little bit more often. Ooh, another Fetch. Or a Chrome Mox. I do dig a Chrome Mox. Fetch gets Badlands and Water Grave. Do we have the card draw for the Chrome Mox? We've got Tameo. We've got Twister. We got Coveted Jewel. Yeah, maybe the Chrome Mox is good. Thinking about Spell Pierce here. I don't think I can afford another land pick. I'd like the Tar Pit, but I don't think I can afford it. Karn's a little awkward because it's not a clampable, or it's not a moxable. It's not a mox imprint, really. But it's not bad in this deck. Kind of makes the deck make sense. Something nice to do with all our colorless mana. Yeah, no shit, Goody Phil. It also finds basic mountain and basic swamp. Ooh. What do we do here? I think Metamorph's great. Oh, fair enough, Goody Film. Fair enough. Are we playing Workshop is a question. I mean, if Workshop lets you play a fast Relic of Sauron, then it's very good. I just don't think there's quite enough here. I mean, there's Metamorph, there's the Jewel, there's the Battered Skull. You're right on the edge of being a Workshop deck. The Workshop does get a little bit better with Urborg, right? Sometimes it's just land. Maybe it does belong here. One thing about Workshops with the colorless cards is we already have, like, Monolith and Mana Vaults. They give me the colorless mana for those, right? There'd be like a third one of those two things. And these things also work well with the Manifold Key, which Workshops doesn't. Yeah, I'm just not going to play it. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, yeah. Just got a raid from the Great Howling Giant Official. Anyone who's watched me long enough has heard my theme song, which Howling Giant made. They were also kind enough to do my intros for my YouTube. If you ever watched my YouTube and gotten my intro track caught in your head, that's them. That's Howling Giant. And they do a lot of live shows here on twitch.tv, so very much worth a follow if you're into that sort of thing. If you're into free live concerts. I've got a lot of their vinyl. I play them a lot. They're great. Fucking great. For people coming in, how was their stream? How's the show? Are they working on Black Hole Space Wizard? Are they from my area? They are not. I think they're from Nashville, or no, Tennessee, right? Tennessee originally. I could be wrong on that. The last I talked to them, they were thinking about moving to the West Coast, or the East Coast. Man, I'm confusing fucking everything right now. Yo, Caleb, they were great. Hell yeah, pick it. Oh, I love that Kriegier. What makes this deck want Thopter Foundry? We've got things that we want to sacrifice. Coveted Jewel, Mana Vault. Mostly those. It's not the best. It's not the best for sure. I almost want to play like the Carnage Interpreter to juice up Karn tokens. We have the Bombardiers that can also sack the Jewel. Always working on Black Hole Space Wizard 3. It's a 20-year plan. Oh wait, how close are we to the 20 years? Hold on. I gotta mark my calendar. Like the Interpreter with Karn. Interpreter's good. It also gives you a lot of sack fodder to the Bombardiers here too, Deck doesn't have enough clues. Needs more clues. Alright, I was figuring out the mana. Let's get back to that. Talisman of Conviction makes red, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 red's kind of a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black. 10 black's appropriate. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue. We need more than that for blue. Let me do this. And then this. I do like being able to sack the Jewel, though. We could go like Jewel, Metamorph the Jewel, and sack both of them to Thopter Foundry. I think this will be reasonable. If I was on the draw, I'd like this hand a lot, right? With Key Monolith. I'm like, way too tempted to keep it anyway. Kind of a generic mid-range draw, I think the Mire should actually be fetching my Tri-land on this turn 1. Soul Ring aim. What's up, Tri-land? Cycling, sure. You get to see Coheed and Indy during Gen Con. I'm actually gonna be missing Coheed to see to go to Gen Con, because they're playing in Madison on the 2nd, and Gen Con's the 1st through the 4th. I guess I could buy more tickets. Well, maybe Raptor's gonna be good against that thing. Yeah, it's much cheaper than what I paid for the Madison show. Usually, when I go to Gen Con, I'm going there specifically not to play Magic Dragon Bear, but this year I think I'm going to play Magic. I've been missing paper Magic. Gotta get it out of my system. A lot of the art on my walls I collected at Gen Con over the years. I really enjoy trying new games. There's some friends that I only see at Gen Con mostly. It's a cool place to do one-shots of various RPGs and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can kind of only do at Gen Con. Hell yeah, Steve. There's a little bit of something there for everybody. Gen Con. A little bit of something there for everybody. A lot of times I like to go to lectures and stuff. Learn a few things. Some obscure. One year I saw a talk on medieval diets and foodstuffs. That was kind of cool. Like a miniature TED Talk sort of deal. A lot of times there's an author there giving a talk. So I saw Brandon Sanderson talk there one year. Seeing R.A. Salvador. R.A. Salvador is a really good storyteller, to the surprise of nobody. Sanderson was good too, but he was good in more of a professor sort of way. He gave off real professor vibes. The patches on his elbows and shit. And he was clearly trained traditionally for doing public readings and stuff. And there's an anime wing. I've gone to talks by voiceover artists, actors that are just there. Some of the actresses from Adventure Time put on a panel. Got to see them talk for a bit. Get them talk about the trade of voice acting. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. It's pretty overwhelming for your first time. I'm a big fan of over preparing. Just reading upon all the different events that I want to do, map out my schedule with appropriate breaks and stuff. And then anytime you're going to any kind of con or festival or something, you can't catch everything. Just take it easy, skip some stuff to go eat if you're hungry, go take a nap if you need to. But yeah, there's a lot going on at Gen Con. A lot of really cool stuff, a lot of good vibes. Nerd heaven, yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Eric. And people come from all over the world, so maybe it's more like Nerd Mecca. Oh, it's a coveted jewel mirror. Oh, very cool, Just Scream. That's fine. I didn't like my hand very much anyway. Are Gen Con and Origins still the two biggest? I think Gen Con's the biggest in the States, Mark. There are larger tournaments, or larger board gaming conventions, but I think they're in Europe. All right, this is enough. You are officially having too much fun. I gotta cut you off. All right, we're gonna bring in Voidwalker. It's good against Echo at least. Treachery kind of sucks too. From what we saw. They could have like a Tinkerblight still in there or whatever, and that's fine. I'll get fucked by it. Let's play Cruxa over... I don't know this. These cards are very good. We just don't have the mana. Have I seen King Gizzard live? I have not, a Sitting Tomato, but I am planning on it in September. Got plans to finally see King Gizzard live. Been on my agenda for a while. Really looking forward to it. Considering seeing them twice. Because the Milwaukee show hasn't sold out yet. Yeah, fair enough, Lucky Martyr. Yeah, I'm not queued for the RC. That would also be a deal breaker for me too. Yeah, we had 2 cards in hand and to the opponent's 6. It's just a good time twister, right? It's a good fucking grip of 7 too. You have no idea what to expect from King Gizzard. I've seen, you know, I've watched videos of them playing live on YouTube. Crowd seemed pretty chill. A little more, maybe hippie-ish than my usual, but maybe that was just the areas. They get a little bit of, what's the word? Folks that like follow them around. Sure. Groupies? No, not groupies. What's the fucking word for that thing? Tailgaters. It's like the Grateful Dead type shit. I feel like I could have tapped this slightly better. Bombardiers kill the Jace, and then also sack kill the Deep Cavern, and then play the Kolaghan's Command, killing the Soul Ring and making them discard a card. I've got the mana to do it here, but I don't have the colors, right? Which means I fucked up somewhere. We only tapped the Swamp thus far. Yeah, but if I don't Metaphor for the Soul Ring, I've got +1 mana. And then I can play the Relic of Sauron, I think. And do both. Maybe that's wrong. Metamorphing the key. Well, the metamorphing the key has been a neutral. It's not that helpful. At least they don't have Hull Breacher here for me. I just want to smack him. I could play the Raptor here. I think I'm going to not do that. Like, just attack and then play this Tamiyo. Possible I'm supposed to play Jason Brainstorm here. close to lethal. Or you're thinking about like Raptor plus Huckett. Another 10 damage. And this is why we held up Kolgan's command here. I assume that this is what they're going to attempt. Game 3 we go. You see why I cut the fucking dam, but I left in the instant speed removal and boarded in like dress down, right? Like we just need to be able to interact with them at instant speed. We need to be able to leave up mana and such. Our mana's good. The hand's very slow. Play it like Twin? Yeah, sort of. They also have a bunch of rituals and stuff. And they're not very heavy interaction. If they play Planeswalkers, I kind of have to, like, pressure them, but that is why I wanted a bunch of instant speed interaction, yeah. Wheeling? That's one of the things about like having to hold up mana here is like if they just play a draw 7, you're not like running out your bombardiers and such. That's pretty awkward too. Finds a Dak Faden, sure. 4 cards, we know one of them's Dak. Pretty bad for me. Quick, Time Twister to shuffle away what they just tutored up. Bolt here would go a long way, Like they didn't go for the wheel. Yeah, they could have here too, If they tap the Basalt Monolith. There's probably a way to tap this, where they also get to wheel this turn. Possible they put me on a counterspell. They try to bait. I did shock myself for this Watery Grave. Could mean other things, of course. Think about just firing off the dress down. Draw a card here. But I don't want the dress down to be around on my turn. Our set, of course, limits you to 1 card per turn. So we can still play it there. Anyway, just a really good chance we lose from here. Displacer Kitten, sure. Any tips tonight? No, not tonight, friend. Yeah, Hipster MD. Yeah, Tamio and Bombardiers are good friends. Just sort of similar to how like Fable and Broadside play well together. Just plenty of sack fodder. Attack Fate and looting here. Inbound Echo of Eons. Sure. Yeah, I think if we could have landed Shieldred one of these games, it would have been good enough. Maybe I should have mulled more aggressively. Gone to 5. We'd already taken 1 mull, I think. Opponent having tutor every game. Well, they have multiple tutors in their deck, right? They have the 5 mana one and the 2 mana one. And then they also have, I mean, the entire rest of their deck is card draw, right? So you need to disrupt them, kill them, And getting Shieldred down would do both, right? That's why it's so good. Upheaval is in this cube, yeah. Okie dokie. Kind of a bad sign that they're not blinking Dak, that they just have plenty of gas left. Did we dodge? I don't think so. I don't know if we can actually dodge from this spot. We'll see. We haven't like quite figured out what their win con is. I'm trying to figure out if we can actually win if they just make like 10 servos, right? Is like 10 servos a beatable thing for us? I guess Tamiyo Uptick kind of covers servo tokens. Toxic Deluge got sideboarded out, goody film. We are the aggro deck of the matchup for sure. The cat is something sick. Everything that they've got is something sick. The Dragonstorm card, I did lose to that the other day. My opponent was comboing off with Breach, and I was like, I don't think fucking Brain Freeze kills me. I've got an Eldrazi in my deck. And then they just made like 20 dragons. I was like, okay, well. Yeah, I kind of wish I just knew what their win con was. Save a little bit of time. Could just scoop, I guess. We're doomsdaying? I think the doomsday kind of implies that the win con is Oracle, right? How often do I not play my pack 1, pick 1? In Vintage Cube, it's actually pretty low, because the card that you're picking, pack 1, pick 1, is usually very good. And a lot of times it's like a Mox or something, right? Like you're always going to play that. I don't know. I'd have to go through like a sample of my drafts. Figure that out. Which you could. You could get a rough estimate just by going through some like 30 of my drafts or something. Get a rough idea. Am I a Deathcore fan at all? Yeah, I like Deathcore. I haven't listened to any new Deathcore in a very long time. They win. Playing them well. Why is Vintage Cube the one that's offered the most? Is that a serious question? It's the most popular one. It makes them the most money. They are actually doing a run of Living the Dream Cube after this season. But yeah, it's not like, I mean, every vending machine has Coke, and it's not like it's because Coke is the best tasting. But it's also like pretty self-evident why every machine has Coke. So they grabbed the Bombardiers because they didn't want the Bombardiers just answering the bat. It kind of makes me wonder if they just have an answer to the Shieldred. McDonald's confirmed best food NA. I've been pretty down on McDonald's. I've had a few of their $5 meals, but they've been like raising the prices of their other items at the same time. I like them fine for fast food, but they are not worth the price increases. Man, an untapped land here would have been sick because we could have demonic tutored for a draw 7 and just gotten to win basically. Right, a loose moose? Yeah. Spell Pierce here is more tempting than it should be. Let's hope this shit works out. Oh, Wizards doesn't manage Vintage Cube, Leech Troll. Daybreak does the scheduling for Magic Online. And Wizards was leaning harder towards Vintage Cube already anyway, because that's like, again, what's popular, and Wizards also likes to make money, but Daybreak even pushed it a little bit further. One big difference between Vintage Cube and those other formats that you're talking about, like you're saying that in general, Wizards wants to have interactive games. Super true, super correct. But one thing that makes Vintage Cube a little different is that it tends to be curated by like one or maybe a few people. Yeah, not slow rolling here, just baiting with the treachery in case they had force or something. Do I think people are beginning to burn out on Vintage Cube because it's on so often? So they've been taking steps to keep the cube fresh. Having like rotating archetypes, I think, is a big part of that. Obviously, they would like it to still be popular. But they have a much better feel of that pulse than we do, right? They know exactly how much they make every season, how much it gets played and stuff, whether that number rises and falls. They have a lot of numbers to look at. There's a period where Minsk and Boo was my pack one, pick one in Vintage Cube. It was kind of cool to play Shieldred and have that win versus Minsk, because Shieldred's my current main bay. You haven't heard Enti or Shikari in forever? Me neither. This is like my old playlist. The issue here is we go turn 1 Oliphant for our Tri-Land, and then turn 2 we play the Tri-Land, and then we have a turn 3 Tameo. That's too slow. This is too slow. This and the... We're on the draw? Think about being in this fucking Mox, huh? Wish we got to keep one more card. Maybe I'll bin the key. Yeah, I don't need this key. Bye, key. Enter Shikari's album from last year was super good. Oh, yeah? Any highlights? You want to turn to the Oliphant? I was thinking about... Oh, shit. I was just about Demonic Tutor for this Twister. Maybe I should have Demonic Tutored here. Imprint the Toxic Deluge, and then Demonic Tutor. Go get Shielded. Fair enough. Well, mana short of tutoring up the 6-drop, and then playing it. Could still go get Shielded. I kind of dig the 6-drop. Maybe it's bad. I guess it's kind of bad if they play Minsk come. The cool thing about getting Coveted Jewel here, the really cool thing, is that it just turns on a lot of the deck, right? What about Relic of Sauron? We get Relic of Sauron, we untap Grim Monolith, we just jam it. That fixes for the treachery, which is kind of cool. And then also gives us a loot engine. It's like the mixture. It's like the middle ground between a few different lines there. Sure. I can't win here, right? 4 them down to 11. And then 6 and 5. GG, I guess. I think so, J-Mac. I think Baragor's very good. Recurring Nightmare doesn't always come together. Strip Mine here is a bummer. This Chromonix is like looking at the cards. What do I imprint? Sure. I think we might be chilling here for a little bit. You haven't played Magic since 15 years. What color of deck do I recommend? Any of them, friend. Whatever pickles your fancy. Whatever gets your giblets rustling. They're all good. All the colors have something good about them. None of them are strategically better than others in most formats. So you can imprint that in Treachery, but like the Ballista prevents the Treachery on tap from, or Treachery even from resolving. I'd rather like probe them and find a black source for the Toxic, huh? Jesus Christ. Their hand's like the inverse of mine, just all land drops. The spicy Commander Precons. Yeah, Commander Precons are pretty good for getting back into the game. Or just jam stuff on Arena, see what you like. Yeah, people still do that, Tin Weasel, with EDH decks in particular. Painful Toxic Deluge. But probably buys us a little bit of time, huh? Turns off the Gaia's Cradle. Durant smacking me for 3 here does not leave much wiggle room. Maybe I can rip a blue source and Treachery it. I almost like Metamorph. Just have 2 Rampagings. Just have fucking 2 of them. Broadside's interesting, huh? Broadside's interesting here. Maybe that's the best answer. It's tempting to grab a blue source here and just like Treachery. Yeah, I eventually went for Broadside because it like confirms the lethal next turn, right? Or is the most likely to lead to lethal next turn. Thinking about Dress Down. I don't know what to replace though, Maybe Spell Pierce. This Twister might help the opponent more than it helps me. They just like dump their hand here. Definitely gained his chill here though. I gotta do something, a little something. Yeah, not a bad 7, huh? Not a bad 7 at all. We'll see what they do here. The Closure Moscow Singer streams here on Twitch. He's fucking hilarious. That's his link if you're interested in following him. Yeah, his username used to be Wet for Jesus. I imagine Twitch made him change it. Oko's rough. Sure. I guess I'll just do this. Oh, shoot, what up? Hey, Gmez 3, thanks for the sod, thanks 11 months. Almost a year. So close. Our best answer to Oko is either the our 4/4 Raptor that has haste, that when it deals damage to the opponent, it also deals damage to the Planeswalker, or it's Bombardiers again, Very cool. Can you not chat on Moto anymore? You certainly can. It's right here. You can toggle it on and off and such. So removes its casting cost, right? Well, only one way to find out. Cool. little bit worried about the flash on this Tidebinder. I wonder if there's a world where I can get the Shieldred down, bait them into using Tidebinder on the Shieldred, and then Toxic, clear the Tidebinder. Probably not. Probably just gotta kill the Shark, huh? Huzzah! Hey, thanks the Nugget, thanks the 62 months. Took a little bit of damage from their attack there, but I thought it was worth it to clear the Seed Shark, right? And clear their Flyarm. Was it worth 6 damage? I don't know. We'll find out, right? Yep, Tidebinder, Brick's Shieldred. Yeah, huzzah, Nugget. Huzzah indeed. Get to draw my 3 cards. Don't hate that. Colgan's Command is doing so much work this league. And we haven't seen a haste out of them. We've just seen endurance, right? I think I can serve. They might have a questing beast or something and make me seriously regret my choice, but I guess if they steal the jewel, they lose 6 life at least. Cool, good stuff. Oh, very cool, Son. New Magic is pretty fun. A lot of cool stuff going on. All right, folks. I'm cutting out a little early tonight. Usually I go past 10, but